if we bring back the black father in the household, I think that would alleviate all that negativity. Because if you got a father in the household, if you saying you going out there doing this bullshit, I'm gonna be on your ass. That child's gonna have more of a fear of you than actually trying to join or do that bullshit that's outside. We need to start bringing back the black father, because I'm gonna tell you this right now: ain't no son gonna ever test their daddy, because their daddy's a real one. He not gonna whoop his daddy, and his daddy's gonna prevent all that extra shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's gonna save him all the time, but it will have him second guessing of like, all right, let me not act the fool
I
when I'm out
think
here with my
Fathers
homies. Though.
definitely do matter, and
I
you can
think-
just look at the statistics of how kids turn out when their dad is there.
Exactly.
For sure. It's not 100% foolproof, because at the end of the day, the kids still got to go outside. And I done seen
Take
plenty
his
of
word.
videos of dads going crazy, slapping the shit out their sons on Facebook, bringing their son to the block because his son just got put on, and he letting them know, hey, my son ain't from this hood. So kids still are going to make their own decisions for the most part. That's why bro said you got to be really gaming them up. But the fucked up part about the system is the parents don't have the game. And the parents is burnt out because they at work all day. So they ain't got nothing to give. They come home on E. You can't charge a battery when your battery is on E. So if you come home on E, what the you got to offer your kids? Damn near nothing. You just want to be left the fuck alone. So most of these kids out here is raising themselves for real if you want to keep it 100.
Nah, facts. And I think it's a little more complex than just having a father. The father is a strong point for sure, but then you become the sum of what the 5 people you're around. And if you in a gang-infested area, a gang-infested school, eventually you're going to adopt that mindset of habit. You're going to spend more time with your friends than you do with your parents that's at work all day. And outside of that, I just think it's gonna be hard unless because it's the culture out here. That's what people don't
Yeah, it's
understand.
the culture.
Gang bang is the culture. The same way you go to a certain place and they full of maybe Christians or Muslims, or the way they live, the lifestyle that is influenced out here in California. Until that lifestyles, in other words, if blacks don't get on the same page, it's not going to change. There's no way around it. And then you got to think a lot of these older people are not in these kids' lives no more for the positive. And then a lot of kids get taught BS from the older people. You know what I'm saying? Sending them on missions, programming them, teaching them how to do certain things, how to
TV,
live a life of
social media,
crime.
too.
So a lot of that stuff, and a lot of these niggas just want to be heard. They want to be a part of something.
But-
Bro, I just saw a kid get a DP because he wasn't in the hood enough. And the nigga was like, man, where the fuck you been? He said, man, I've been at work, man. I got
Seen
school. So I don't give a fuck about none of that. Nigga, you got phase coming right now. Nigga got DP for having a job and going to school. So when you in that type of environment, and these is your
Stupidity,
friends,
bro.
like, come on. Like, that's like growing up in an Amish neighborhood and you expecting to turn out Muslim. No, nigga, you're going to turn out Amish.
That's why I was saying the father, because then at least with a father coming in, that even if it is a 2-parent household and they could be burnt, that father, especially with a boy, is going to want their child to do some type of extracurricular activity. I hate to sound cliche, but sports, that's when they come involved. So that's why
Absolutely.
fathers tend to push their kids in sports so they can stay away from the negativity and keep their mind occupied by doing something. If it's not sport, it's music or it's plays or whatever the case may be. I do know fathers tend to be more active, especially now. Shout out to all the millennial fathers. They're more active now. So they are getting their kids into those type of extracurricular activities, so they won't just be sitting at home with this idle time.
But
No,
this
it's
is
a
what
fact.
I think. This is what I think things take a village. You have to have
Support system.
a support system outside of just what's going on in your home. And not what I mean is if they're around different, like you said, different fathers, their friends have the same sort of like-minded type of lifestyle, then that maybe can alleviate some things. They won't need to be feeling accepted or need to be peer pressured or certain things if you're keeping them. And then it's hard to get them out of these school districts. And a lot of them don't want to leave the school district.
No, they
Yeah.
now they have open enrollment, open school district, depending on what school you trying to. If you're a baller, they do have some like.
If you're a
open-
baller, you can go anywhere.
Yeah,
They'll pay
that's
for you
what
to
I'm
go.
saying,
Most
yeah.
kids
But-
ain't ballers,
exactly.
though.
Yeah, that's how-
that alleviates.
I will
the point.
say the environment does matter.
Yeah.
100% for sure. The environment matters. The school matters. You'll even see a change in your kids' attitude, demeanor, just based on where they go to school. Like my son, for sure, he don't want to go to school in no motherfucking ghetto area. He don't want to go to school in no urban area. And that nigga is suburban Fresh Prince. Like, he love his little suburban
'cause
life.
you gotta
I
think-
remember I
yeah.
transferred him. I'm like, nah, you need to be around some more black people, man. That nigga, first week of school, he like, nah, I got to get up out of here. Not that he didn't want to be around black people. He was like, the kids here are doing dumb shit.
It's the shit you got to deal with that's different. And I think that's something that we praise, but the reality is that's not something. It's not something to praise. It's not. We've had to take it and make it ours and make do with it. But if you get the ability or the opportunity to be somewhere else, like, that's normal. What the shit we got to go through, the police officers at the school trying to railroad you already.
Right.
You got niggas getting shot outside the school, niggas fighting, all different types of shit going on. Niggas not focusing in class, no extracurricular activities. The sports teams is trash. You got all type of shit going on. It's like that's not normal. We were exposed to underprivileged areas where we had to fight to survive. You always want to, it's normal to grow up in a place where those things don't exist. We're just so used to the struggle in this type of intense environment that we think that's the norm, and it's not. It's really not.
No, it's definitely not. Especially if you got a daughter, bro. The shit that these little girls is doing, and these little girls is doing it everywhere. They doing it everywhere. But the only difference that I really notice is maybe the violence, the fighting. It's gossip everywhere. These little girls is hoes everywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of them be more hoes in these suburban schools than not. These parents, these suburban parents, bro, they letting their kids fuck at home. They hosting the parties. They buying the alcohol. After the game, when they win, nigga, but the parents going back with the kids, like, nigga, it's a whole different struggle. This shit ain't going on in the hood. Yeah, we got gang violence and all that other shit, but you ain't finna be drinking with your parents. Ain't no orgies, nigga. It ain't none of that going on. So
one thing I can say though, they is in the urban neighborhoods, they smoking and drinking with kids.
Yeah,
that's
all of that shit is
That's a
happening.
fact.
I just don't think the parents are necessarily encouraging it. Where it's like, our parents would be like, don't do what I do what I say, or some shit. You'd be like, all right, why can't I do that? Like, nigga,
these little motherfuckers, like, you gonna drink anyway. You might as well start with me.
That's their thing. If I can put you in an environment where I can give you a little bit or expose you to it without you, you know what I mean? Then maybe you won't go off the hinges. Because I think a lot of people's thinking is, if I tell you don't do it, you're gonna do it. So if I kind of let you do it a little bit, maybe you'll be like, all right.
But then at some point, then when is your job as a parent kicked in? Because these are not your fucking friends, and that's what I'm saying. We gotta start creating boundaries, and that's what's wrong with these soft ass parents. You guys are afraid to create boundaries. Y'all want to be y'all child's friends so bad, where y'all forgetting the dynamic role, and that's why they feel like these children are entitled as adults at early age. Why you feel like they can be having sex at an early age? Why you feel like they can have dope in their system at an early age? Drink. Bro, it's age-appropriate behavior for a reason. Because if that's the case, take away all the laws of children being 18 and, being legal. If we're going to be operating in that manner.
You know what the difference I notice is? The age gap of the parents. Most of the parents is still kids they self.
Mm-hmm.
We the generation, well, not even our generation, the next generation, Gen Z, they're the generation of the young-ass parents. Nigga, we had old-ass parents.
Yeah, that's
Moms
true.
was old, pops was old. So that gap of trying to be an adult friend, that was a no-no. You couldn't even hang out when the adults was having kickbacks and drinking their wine coolers, playing spades.
Nigga, if you can't
had to go in the back room or outside.
If you can't interrupt, it better be something serious.
Facts, nigga.
Real,
My
'cause
pops
you'll
was
get your
not
ass
in.
whooped.
But
That's
not,
so
that,
God.
not only that your mama getting on your pops getting on you, nigga, the whole table
Whole
getting on
They
you,
will
nigga.
beat your ass if
My
it's
pops
not
was-
Oh, that
emergency.
nigga that lost his damn mind coming in here with grown folks talking.
Yeah, exactly.
And and another thing I be seeing people with kids, they really, like you said with the friend thing, they be really having the nerve to answer to the kids.
Yeah.
Like you having a whole conversation. It shouldn't be nothing else. The back talking is crazy.
That
You was getting
part.
smacked for that. To even question why I'm telling you to do what you do is wild to me when I see it.
Explaining to you.
Yeah,
like,
fuck is you talking
fuck?
about? If you
Because
don't
I
do what I
said so,
just
that's
told you,
it.
Exactly.
kids be talking, I'm gonna do it when I want to, all
What?
type of crazy shit. Like we said, only people that did that, nigga, I had a couple white friends
White people.
that could talk crazy like that. Outside of that, you was black and allowing that, and people be like, well, I don't want to be how people was with me. It's like, cause it's a kid for a reason.
Exactly.
You're preparing them
To be
for
an
life.
adult,
Yes,
exactly,
yeah.
bro.
They shouldn't have an option. You know what's best for them.
Because
Not
in
them.
most cases, though, that's what ends up happening from generation to generation. You look at Gen X, you look at millennials, you look at Gen Z. What that generation lacked as children, or what they felt like maybe was a negative within their childhood, they kind of try to go the opposite of that within, when they become parents. So that's why I think you see a lot of millennial parents treat their kids more as, I don't want to say human beings, but have more like of a
Sympathy or
have more like
empathy.
of a have more like of a voice. Like you can come to me and say, hey, what you did hurt my feelings, or I feel like, why can't I go over to Susie's, or why you parents have given their children more of a voice, because I think when they were kids, they never really it was my way or the fuck it's the highway. That's it.
I'm gonna say this.
But that's what it's supposed
Which
to be.
it should be. I think it should be a balance, but I think what happens is each generation just overdoes whatever it is.
One thing I don't like
Do too much.
about this generation of parents, not to cut you off, Stop selling mediocrity to your kids as perfection.
Participation trophies.
Participation trophy. If your kid is trash, you don't necessarily got to say, nigga, little nigga, you trash. But don't be like, oh, you're perfect. No, nigga, let's grind.
You got a lot to work on.
Yeah, you got a lot to work on because they going to go in the real world with this false ideology thinking that everything they did was perfect and they never made a mistake. And when they start making mistakes and the real world gives them the results of those mistakes, they're not going to be built for that because you lied to them their whole fucking life.
Lack of resilience. That's what it is. We're building up. We're doing this false hope as making it seem like there's something that they're not. And to kind of go back what you said, Kali, with the balancing, I think it can be a balance, but it has to be a tip scale balance where I don't mind you speaking what I allow you to speak. So if you're having a bad day at school, if you feel like you're being bullied or whatever the case may be, then you can talk to me. But if I'm telling you to do a direct order, that is not the time for you to question me. So that's why I'm telling you to create boundaries of, if I'm telling you to do your chores, there's no talk back. Because again, when you come on when you cut these lights on, when you open up the refrigerator, when you turn on that shower, it's hot water. I do my job. So I expect you to do your job. As long as you're my child, and as long as you're living in my household.
The kid has to know that you control that switch. At any moment, we cool, but it can always go back to,
you know, it's just, at the end of the day, it's a separation. That's all it is. Like, people don't understand. Like, even I had, like, a lot of people's households is different. Like, I'll go to some of my friends' house where you have to say uncle, you have to say auntie, you have to say grandma, you have to address moms, pops a certain way. Like, you couldn't just be calling them by their first names and things in that nature. So I think that is a little different.
Not to cut you out, I trip when niggas call it, don't say auntie before they auntie's name or uncle. Because I'm a grown-ass man, I still say uncle to his name.
You need to be reminded of the separation. That goes back to what you said. And then a lot of these parents care too much about how their kids feel, in my opinion. Like you said, when it comes to direct orders, a direct order is a direct order. Now, I would say you can maybe get a kid some understanding later, like on why this happened, so they don't have to really do it again. Because you can get told something and don't really understand what the fuck just happened. Mm-hmm. But now once you break it down to them later, like, what the fuck
But you know what, too? Like, a lot of lessons that they did do that too. What I will say is it was a slow burn where it's like, if I try to really give you the game at 10, you're not going to understand. This is something that when you hit 20 or 15, you're going to have that moment where you're like, oh, this is what you was talking about. So I think sometimes leaving that open, because, you know, my pops would be like, oh, you understand when you're older. You understand this or you understand that. Like, didn't necessarily give me the game then because maybe I couldn't all the way understand it. But then you come to that point where you're like, this is exactly the shit. When these niggas say ain't nothing new under the sun, like, this is what these niggas
Let me give y'all a jewel too, right? So I was looking at this study and they said there's one key thing that separates people's success rate over a lifetime, and it happens when you're a kid. So it's not your test scores. It's not necessarily where you went to school. It ain't even necessarily, you know, both parents. Like, the biggest key factor is kids that did chores and kids that didn't.
Yep. I seen
Simply making your bed and doing chores is the first real job that you have as a kid that you complete. So it's those small habits that every day I got to win. I made my bed. Okay, I got the kitchen. I did the dishes. I mopped. I did. That shapes you for a lifetime. And the success gap between the kids who did chores and didn't is like this. No matter the test scores or none of that. Just the simple fact that you put that discipline in your kid when they was kids to do them chores, and what a lot of our parents do, not even our parents, our generation of parents will assign chores. Kids don't do them right. They go do the chores for the kid. I be having to get on my girl. Man, the fuck is you doing? Oh, he not doing it right. He doing it on purpose because your dumb ass gonna do it for him every time.
Hey, can I tell you something?
That's a great point.
I've done this before where my daughter has left food on a glass plate, whatever the case may be. I'm like, damn, this dish is not clean correctly. You know what? Since it was in the cabinet, let's wash all 4 of these that was stacked up right there. Let's rewash all of them because I don't even know if you washed them all correctly. Right. And I will remake her do it. And I will sit there and watch her.
And that's the best thing right there, because I would say that if I did something, didn't clean up right, mom's gonna she gonna show you one time ever. And then, or if not, she gonna stand there and tell you and guide you, nigga, to do every step, nigga.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, scrub that, nigga. Put some more soap on that. Get in that corner. Or I say clean the kitchen. I say do the dishes, clean the whole kitchen, nigga. Stove top, everything. And it's crazy because as I got older, I had to go back and I had to tell my mama, like, thank you. I hated doing chores when I was a kid because we used to come home, nigga. Whatever you had to do, we had it weekly. So you had to do, if you had the kitchen, you had it for a week. You had the living room, bathroom, you had it for a week straight. You knew that was your chore. Yep. But I hated it because I used to want to hear her get outside. But she's like, nigga, don't go outside until this is done. But as you got older, then you realize like, damn, okay, you more of like you low-key could be a neat freak. You low-key clean up just off of just unconsciously a lot more. Then you get around people that's the opposite,
Dirty,
clothes everywhere, shit just toe up, like
You
just
judging
filthy.
them.
Yeah, not necessarily judging. I
do.
But I can tell like in your mental space, something else is going
If
on
I go
up
to
here.
a woman's house, man, and it looks like,
Oh yeah, of course.
you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
that's more so I'm looking at. And then also too, you said something that you didn't even recognize what your mom did. Take care of your business, then play later. You handle your
Right,
business now,
yeah.
you can enjoy it. You ain't got to worry about coming back and then doing it in.
Yeah,
You know what
when
I'm
you
saying?
get home,
You
yeah.
already done. Your job is already done. You can once you finish your job, you can focus on what you need to do. After that, go have as much fun as you want to. Then when you come back in the house, you still chilling.
This is where fathers kick in because our generations of moms was way more stern than this generation of moms. The generations before us, the moms didn't play. They was low-key putting more belt to ass than the
masculine.
dads,
It was
nigga.
masculine,
The
for sure.
dads had to get moms off. Hey, hold on, you finna kill that little nigga.
Yeah.
This generation, they know how to finesse mom. They half-ass clean up. She come in, yell at him, get mad, clean the whole room for him. This how you supposed to clean it. And this is rinse, cycle, and repeat. Pops ain't going for that.
Nope.
Man, get your little ass in there and re-clean that shit.
moms
I'm gonna
be
take
scared
this
of the-
TV out. I'm gonna
If
take
you got
this
a
game
problem
out,
with
all
it, don't
that.
come out until it's done, nigga.
Facts.
There is no nothing. You probably won't even eat, nigga, until you
No,
finish.
for real talk. You have to like not like that with children, bro. Sometimes you got to take it to the extreme so they understand that you're not playing with them. Then they understand that lifelong lesson. Like, okay, when pops or moms tell me to do something, I need to do it because this can happen, and I don't like this.
And I think I think the grannies are very, very, very important. I think we losing them recipes too, because
Grannies are like 42 right now,
So
Kylie.
it's like,
You know that.
yeah, it's like grannies is born in 1989. It's like that's not even
Bruh,
old.
Munchie
So,
B is a granddad.
yeah, it's like, come on, bro.
Wow.
Munchie B is younger than me. And he's a granddad.
It's
So just think about, nigga, granddad, you thinking of gray hair. Oh, got a pocket full of money for you.
because a lot of these kids,
Man,
like even
that's deep.
my pops and
That's
mom,
crazy.
like they had my dad's mom to kind of be there to a certain degree to run, not hover over them, but like you could go to somebody who was an elder who understood certain things, or maybe you freaking out over the newborn and you have that lady that's already birthed 6, 7 kids, whatever. Oh no, that's just this, or that's just that. She can give you that knowledge.
Put the
calm you
rum on the
down.
gums with 18.
Whatever it is, or you might need to, take a break off or whatever. It's certain things that Granny was able to do, provide extra. Just a lot of things that Granny, Grandpa, uncles, and aunties
Uncles
was
is
able
all
to
that
do
shit gone.
that we don't got no more.